Hello everyone, my name's Allison and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Green Goddess Plant Seeds and Stitching, where I share my adventures in gardening and in cross stitch and crafting. And today is a garden chat. So this is going to be just a short demo video. Today is March 22nd. Sorry. I just had a few people over the weekend. We had a market the last 2 days. And they were asking about petunias and stuff, and one woman was told that it was too late to start petunias. In my opinion, it's not too late to start petunias. It just means they'll bloom a little bit later in the season, which personally I'm okay with. I've got some seeds here that just arrived this past week, and I'm not going to wait another year to plant them. I'm going to plant them now. That's my opinion. That's the way I want. And I mean, in my garden, I want those late blooming flowers. I want my flowers and ornamentals to look nice, into September. So planting things a little bit later or in stages helps you achieve that. So it's not too late to plant petunias. Don't let anyone tell you that it's too late. All right, so these are my petunia seeds. This is Sutton's Blueberry Shade. That's what it's supposed to look like. I ordered the seeds from Halifax Seeds. If you've never grown petunia seeds before, the natural seed is very, very small. It's almost like dust. I don't know how I can show you this, but most seed vendors, when they sell you the petunia seed, will actually put the actual seed inside a smaller envelope inside the decorative one. These guys didn't do that. So I don't know how well you can see inside in this corner here. There's a little bit, it almost looks dark. It's like dust. There's just like a thin layer of dust. And if you didn't know what you were looking at, you would think you got an empty packet of seeds. But that is the seed in the bottom there, that tiny little corner of dust. That's what the seed. But a lot of seed vendors sell pelleted seeds, so it's easier to see and handle. So that's okay. So what I've started doing this year is I've started planting into these 2.5-inch pots. I'm experimenting. Normally I would have used the cell packs, which you can still use. There's nothing wrong with those. I just wanted to try these and see how well they work. So I'm going to try and open my seed packet, open up the side so it makes it easier to get access to those teeny tiny seeds at the bottom. So I'm very gently going to slice that open. Oh dear, there we go. Got it part way, if I can get it part way again, like it's just, and what you could do with a situation like this, if you've got a small bowl, you could empty them into a small bowl so that you can actually see them a little easier. So I am going to try and just open up the top of the seed packet again, just fold it right open without drawing it too much. Like, don't know how well you can see that, but right there, those are the seeds. They're very, very, very tiny. Like I said, they're like dust. And so what I'm going to do is just broadcast them over just a pinch over each. I've got 4 of these mixed up and ready to go. So that there's a few in each pot. Just like that. Sorry, I should have angled my camera down. But they are so small. So small. So I've got them all in there. Now I am not going to cover them because the seed is so small. Don't cover them. And even if you get the ones with the pellets, they recommend not to cover them with soil. So in terms of soil, we're just using an ordinary potting mix. I think it's the Pro Mix. You can use a special seeding mix if you want. It tends to be a little bit finer. But we've been happy with our results with the Pro Mix, just the regular Pro Mix potting soil. So that's what we use. And so now for watering, ideally a spray bottle works best, and you can just mist the surface until it's nice and wet and soaked, and then cover them either in a tray with a plastic dome or in a plastic bag, and put them someplace warm where they can germinate and where they have lots of light. They'll need light. Now, I don't have a spray bottle, so I'm just going to take my watering can and just very gently pour along the edge of the soil, along the pot. If I can get it going there. There we go. And just flood the top of the soil. There we go, just like that. And then of course that it'll moisten the seeds. It will carry the seeds down into the soil. Do that one more time. Very gently, because they are such small seeds. And last one. So hopefully some of these will come up in a few days. Okay, and I've got my tags here. There, it's always good to have your tags ready to go. And then when I get everything all settled up, I'll move them over to our growing area back here. We've got some heat mats. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about are poppies. Now, I am not an expert on poppies. I struggle starting poppies. But what I have tried this year, now poppies do need that cold stratification. So what I've done this year, now these ones I started probably about 3 weeks ago. And so what I did is I put them in some soil in a pot, in a container, an open cell pack. I watered them well and then covered them with the plastic bag and put them in the fridge. Now that was probably 2.5, 3 weeks ago, so I am pulling them out now. Generally, they say it needs 6 to 8 weeks in the fridge or a cold garage or someplace, but I need to pull them out so I can put another batch in. And I know the refrigerator space is at a premium, so I can't put too many things in there because Glenn needs the refrigerator space for his stuff. So these are gonna come out, and I'll put them in a tray and put them on the heat mats and under the lights and see how well they do. So I've got another variety here of poppies. I'm gonna start. So those ones that I showed you were the Black Swan poppy, and I've got some Hungarian blue breadseed poppy that I'm going to start. Like again, I'm not going to wait till next year to start these. I'm going to start them now. And like I said, it just means they'll bloom a little bit later, which I'm okay with. It's okay to do that. You know, really, a lot of these so-called gardening rules are suggestions. I mean, there are some things that probably it's too late for, but you know, but for the most part, it's, you know, it just means it grows a little later. So see, this is what I'm talking about. Like some places will put petunia seeds inside a smaller envelope inside the big one. So that's what these guys have done with the poppy seed, which is nice. And you can kind of see the seed in the bottom there. So I'm just gonna again broadcast the seed over the surface. I'm using the wider cell packs because these have to go in the fridge and they fit better in the fridge than these. So I am just going to dump the seed out into my palm of my hand, just like that. And I think there's a few stuck in the bottom, so I'll probably have to tear that open. And I'm just going to very gently, lightly broadcast the seed over the top. It is small seed, but it's bigger than the petunia seed, so it's easier to handle and see. So I'm not going to cover these, but I am going to water them in very, very well. And then I'll put the plastic bags on them and then put them in the fridge. So that's the poppies. So we'll just, again, I'm just going to very gently pour over the top. Very, very, I go along the edges first. Very gentle. And just like that, and it's done. So it's seed starting. It's not as hard and as complicated as some people make it out to be. You know, you just have to get your hands dirty and experiment and try it. That's really all you got to do. I hope this helps. Like I said, I'm not an expert, by any means. Like I struggle with growing poppies. Petunias I usually have success with, but not always. Not always. But yeah, so I hope that's helpful. I'll probably be doing another garden chat video later. Maybe end of the month, maybe beginning of April, when we do more transplanting. I'll just kind of show you what we got. But yeah, so happy spring, everyone. Spring equinox was last Friday, so I wish everyone a happy spring, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, a happy autumn equinox. And I hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. I hope you have a great week coming up. And until next time, take care.